Witching Hour, Ligea, guitar tabs, and guitar lesson. So just a standard tuning here, E, A, D, G, B, E. But a special note, I noticed as I was playing with the most popular YouTube version of this song, that the recorded version, I don't know if that was something that happened after it got uploaded or in the process of getting uploaded or whatever, but it's about a quarter step sharp on the recorded version. So if you're just in a regular standard tuning and you're playing along, it might sound a little bit strange, but just know that the recorded version for the most popular YouTube version there is just a little bit sharp. So special note there, but other than that, should be pretty basic here with the tuning. And we can start here with this intro and ending arpeggiation stuff going on here. So pretty clean tone, got some reverb on there. And basically we're going to be picking through like this E to C to B, and then kind of flop it for a E, C to A, and just alternating that. So the first look that we want this 2D, 4G, open B. All right, and then we just get to the C, that 3 on the A bass note, hit that, do an open G, open B, and then just land on this B5, so 2A, 4 on the D and G. All right, and there's a little pickup note just before we start it over again, just hit that 2 on the B again. All right, get back to that E5 look, that 2D, 4G, open B. Hit the 3A with the open G and B. And now we land on this A sus2, so open A, 2D and G, open B. All right, and then here's a little switch here that kind of alternates where it happens each time we go through this whole thing. Now instead of like E5, we kind of do this E minor thing where instead of just picking the 2D, 4G, open B, we go 2D, 4G, open G. Okay, instead of, so just a little subtle different thing there. 2D, 4G, open G, but then the same 3A, open G and B to the B5, the 2 4s. And then we cap it off here by sliding the B power chord, the 2A, 4D, up to 3 and 5 for the C. And as we do that, right after we hit it, we hit a little open B, G and B under it. And then just land on an A power chord, so open A, 2 on the D and G. Okay, so that's kind of like the intro, and then that also happens at the very end of the song. Once we get into the verses, we kind of play around with the same type chords. We just kind of add a little, different picking here and there, and maybe a note here and there. So just starting with that same E to C to B. So we do our 2D, 4G, open B. But here we kind of hit the 2D, little hesitation, then do the 4 to open. All right, now we pick between this 4G, 2D, hit a 5G, 2D. Back to the 4G to open B. Okay, a little pickup note at the end, into the C, that 2D to 3A. Hit our open G, B, G. Hold that just a moment. Hit that open G once more, then back to the 3 on the A. All right, now we're going to pick through this B, and it's like a flat 6 without the third, but it's basically just like a B power chord with the open G and B under it. So just hit the 2A, 4D, open G, open B, and just work our way back up. Okay, so slowly. Type of deal. And the thing with this verse pattern, it more or less stays the same with that kind of switch B to A ending every time. But there's also that little subtle difference where we mix in, instead of doing an E5, it's an E minor. So just kind of switching that open B note for the open G note. And that kind of like switches like a shell game throughout like these different patterns that we're doing here. So the second time through, which this is the alternating time, it happens the second time and the fourth time. Okay, it starts out by doing the E minor look where we go 2D, 4G, open G. But we do that same little back and forth here with the 4-2, 5-2. All right, right, back to the open B, 2D, and then into our C as usual. And then this is the alternating time, so now we end with an A. And with this, you just do an A power chord, the open A, 2 on the D. Kind of hit that, and then there's a little subtle like open G note, so it's like A7 now. Okay. All right, and the third time, it's very similar to that first run through, but we're just gonna switch where we're doing, you know, our little E minor and E5 and all that jazz. So the first run through, we didn't really mess with that E minor, but now we're gonna put that little E minor note in there. So it starts the same, the 2-4 open B, back and forth with the 4-2-5-2. All right, but here, instead of going to open B, now we do the open G. Okay, now the rest of it is finishing it just the same way we did in the first run through. The C to that B power chord with the open G and B. All right, so kind of some switching little subtle things here and there, mostly the endings and then that small little E minor shuffle there. Once we get to this pre-chorus section, we just hit an open A power chord, and we're going to pick through this A sus2 look. So just the 2G, open B, little hesitation, open high E back to the open B. All right, pick down through a B sus4, so B power chord, do the 2A, 4D, throw in the 4G, then we do an open B. Hit the open IE back to open B. All right, back to the A sus. And then we end on this kind of like D6 sus2, which is basically just open D, 2 on the G, and then an open B and E. Just let that ring. And after that, we get into what you would just say is like the straight up chorus. And with this, it's more just kind of playing around with some high strings. So we'll do this B minor look and just hit B octaves here with the 4G open B, 2 on the high E, go 2, 3, 2 to the 3B, okay, 2E, 3B, hit the 5E, 3B, okay, 3B, 2E, and at that point it kind of switches to an A sus4, so we went. All right, now we're gonna go pretty much the same deal, but just switch the ending. Do the B octaves at the 4G open B. Okay, 2 on the high E, 2, 3, 2, 3B. And then kind of switch to like this D chord look, where we go 2E, 3B, 2G. All right, and then we finish it by doing a quick little open high E, 3B, open high E. All right, and you just basically bounce between those two different little riffs there.